Thank you all. So hello again, Afro-Arab Guardians around the world. I'm sending you warm greetings from Egypt on behalf of Guardians of AfroArab Leadership team. This is Hiba Awesome from Egypt, the founder of Guardians of AfroArab Leadership Initiative, and I'll be your host for today's session. I'd like to welcome you, whether you are attending the Zoom meeting or following us live on Facebook. We really appreciate having you here with us in the first event of Goal platform. Before we go through today's session, please allow me first to let you know a bit more about this platform. Guardians of Afro-Arab Leadership is a digital platform that aims to gather Arab and African young leaders in one place to enhance the value of integration between them. It mainly seeks for providing the African and Arab youth a platform where they can share, ideas and experiences with each other. Today, we host this first webinar, this first event of GOAL, which is about leadership by peace. I think you all agree with me that in our region, I mean the African continent and Arab world, our generation is witnessing serious challenges on all levels. And the most remarkable thing about us as Afro-Arab is that we have a huge population of young people, which make that the key solution for facing these certain challenges. That's why we are here today, to address and learn from each other how we could practice leadership in this difficult time in the middle of these circumstances, using the culture of peace. How could we be more effective in our communities, no matter how complicated the surrounding environment? And to answer these questions, we have our honorable speakers today from all across Africa and the Arab world, to enlighten us and share with us their experiences in this particular issue. Please join me welcoming our guest speakers. A true female agent of change, Ms. Barbara Kamba Nyati, a psychotherapist, a lifestyle and wellness coach, an inspirational speaker, best-selling author, a mediator, child and sport psychologist from Zimbabwe. She is the founder and CEO of Bold Dialogue and the editor of Bold Dialogue magazine. Ms. Barbara is a Tony Ilumilo Foundation alumni, Churi Player Foundation alumni, Namibia, a Flying Labs in-house psychotherapist and interim director. Ms. Barbara also is a brand ambassador for Marantha Publications. She is also the country chapter head for First Class on Your Becoming Namibia and Zimbabwe, and a two times TEDx speaker. Welcome, Ms. Barbara, on board, and thanks for your great contributions to the society. We have also another outstanding female leader from Egypt, Ms. Yasmin El-Gindi. Actually, Yasmin is my friend, and it's a great pleasure having her here. Ms. Yasmin is an ambitious social entrepreneur who believes in the power of arts and culture to make a change. She has been an active participant in the cultural scene in Egypt for more than 7 years. She is the founder and director manager of Rukn Al Yasmin for cultural events and activities that was launched in 2014, in which she runs a monthly book club activity, reading challenges, book donation campaigns, movie nights, and discussions, a DIY do-it-yourself club, as well as organizing workshops in different fields. Ms. Yasmin is also a PLP, Presidential Leadership Program, and NTA National Training Academy graduate, and this is where I get to know her because we were colleagues back then. Ms. Yasmin also is the director of the World Youth Theater of the World Youth Forum for its two versions in 2018 and 2019. Welcome, Ms. Yasmin, and it's a great honor having you here. We have also a very distinguished young leader, Mr. Kamel Abshir Warsami from Somalia. He is a master degree holder of political science, and he holds also a double BA political science statistics from Cairo University. He is a youth activist who believes in peace and promotes it. Welcome, Mr. Abdul Kamel. We are so privileged having you on board today. And we have also Mr. Muhammad Muqbil from Yemen. He is currently studying business administration, and he is a certified trainer in Yemen who has been active in so many organizations there. Welcome, Mr. Muhammad, and thank you for being with us today. Now, let's start with our first speaker, Ms. Barbara. Ms. Barbara, it's well known that to be able to spread peace around us, we have first to acquire a peaceful mindset. From your experience, how to build a peaceful mindset individually for spreading peace across communities using leadership skills? You will have 10 minutes, please. The floor is yours now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Miss Barbara, we hear you. Miss Barbara, can you hear us? Okay, I think Miss Barbara has, challenges with her connection, internet connection. Okay, let's move to Miss Yasmin until Miss Barbara come back. Miss Yasmin, all your activities and contributions were about cultural, which is a very important aspect of our lives, and we may, overlooked it most of the times. From your own perspective, how could the soft power promote peace and effective leadership in our societies? You have only 10 minutes, please. The floor is yours now.
First of all, thank you, Heba, for having me today. Thanks, everyone, for your time. I'm really thrilled to be among all these inspiring young leaders, and I hope we all can benefit from today's webinar. Let's get started. I'll share my screen with you to just a second in order to be able to check the presentation. Is it clear, everyone?
Yeah, it's so clear.
The presentation, can you see it?
Yeah.
So let's get started. The overview. Of course, I'd like to introduce myself again. We will talk about how can we differentiate between hard versus soft power and why is soft power important. Then we will move to the smart power and what does it mean. And I'll give you some examples. And then last but not least, we'll end with some ideas of how soft power can be used for promoting peace. So, as Heba had just said, I'd like to introduce myself as an Egyptian social entrepreneur. I'm a founder and directing manager of Rokn Yasmin for culture events and activities. I have always believed in the power of art and culture to make a change, and I have been an active participant in the cultural scene in Egypt for more than 7 years. And as Heba said, one of the milestones I have been through is being the World Youth Theater Manager, and which is the biggest side event held in World Youth Forum. So as you can see, I have been working deeply and very long in the cultural scene because of my beliefs. As you know, culture is one of the main components in the soft power. But first, I'd like to share with you a quote by Joseph Nye, who was the first one to introduce soft power in late 80s, the term itself. I'd like to give you 30 seconds to read this paragraph, and I'll read out loud the first part of it, which says, a country may obtain the outcomes it wants in world politics because other countries, admiring its values, emulating its example, aspiring to its level of prosperity and openness, want to follow it. This, as I have just said, is by Joseph Nye, an American politician who was the first one to introduce the term soft power in late 80s. So let's differentiate between hard power and soft power in brief. Hard power is the use of military and economic means to influence the behavior or interests of other political bodies. This form is often aggressive or coercion and is most immediately effective when imposed by one political body upon another of lesser military and or economic power, which is unlike the soft power. The soft power is the ability of a country to persuade others to do what it wants without force, not through military might, but through its most attractive assets, notably language, education, culture, and values. So in other words, it is the things that make people love or admire a country rather than fear it, things that are often the products of people, institutions, brands, rather than the government. And as we can see, hard power has immediate effects or immediate results, unlike the soft power, which takes so long to be built, and its results can take also so long to be noticed. Again, returning back to culture, some people got a little bit confused and think that culture is the same as soft power. This is not true. Culture is only one of the components that form the soft power. So culture is the characteristics and knowledge of a particular group of people. This includes all that you can see here in this diagram, the dressing, the cuisine, the language, and so on. And cultural practitioners are those writers, musicians, virtual artists, performers who increasingly recognize the ways in which their work can have a positive role in mediating between different groups and communities, developing empathy and breaking down stereotypes. And a cultural practice can be defined as the manifestation of the tradition or costume within a particular culture, like, for example, the geishas wearing kimonos in Japan. So why soft power is that important? Given the nature current challenges we are all facing, terrorism, climate change, and epidemics, soft power is more critical than ever to secure national interest. Building friendship and understanding between peoples enhances a state security, underpinning peaceful coexistence. It also supports the deepening of diplomatic ties, the sharing of knowledge and expertise, the smooth conduct of commerce and cooperation on shared area of interest. Soft power also provides the opportunity for smaller and poorer countries to compete with the larger and richer ones by promoting their own culture and political views. These countries may not be able to compete on the basis of hard power, yet they can compete in other areas such as tourism, culture, arts, international assistance, and cooperation. That's why soft power is important. We have here a research for the British Council that shows a clear link between participation in UK culture, educational, and even English language program and significantly higher levels of trust in the UK. UK policymakers have over time helped to build up the many institutions that contribute to these factors. For example, the organizations with direct soft power focus, like BBC World Service and the British Council. Also, we have the leading universities, leading UK universities. We have the Premier League. We have also the outstanding diplomatic network and record of leadership in international development. One other important feature of soft power is that relatively small expenditure can go far if deployed in the right way, compared with the expensive material required to maintain military power. We have here the focused application of soft power activities has the potential to yield larger results in terms of a nation's influence for relatively low outlay. So can we rank or measure the country's soft power? Yes, recently there are many indices that's focused on this issue. One of them is the Soft Power 30, and I'd like to invite you all to check this out. Its report is free of charge, so you can download it. It's a ranking of countries' soft power produced and published by the media company Portland. It's based on the quality of countries' political institutions, the extent of their cultural appeal, the strength of their diplomatic network, the global reputation of their higher education system, the attractiveness of their economic model, and countries' digital engagement with the world. We have here the index combined the 6 data, and this is from Soft Power 30. You can check it out. Digital, culture, enterprise, education, engagement, and government. These are the 6 pillars that form the Soft Power 30 index. Another index is the Global Soft Power Index, and this is from 2020 report. Here they have 7 pillars, not just 6. We have business and trade, governance, international relations, culture and heritage, and I'd like you to check the gaming and fashion by the end of this pillar. We have also media and communication, education and science, people and values. And in the 2020 report, my beloved Egypt ranked 38 out of 100. So this is how can we measure the soft power of each country. So can we only rely on soft power? Of course not. Soft power on its own will never be enough, and nor should it be seen as sufficient on its own to replace reduced hard power. The nature and scale of the world's current security challenges usually require the deployment of both hard and soft power. For these reasons, policymakers are increasingly focused on the benefits of combining soft and hard power into what's called smart power. Maybe this diagram can help you, can be helpful in illustrating the idea. Soft power is the combination of the political, cultural, legal tools. It's a combination of hard and soft power. And as one of the main examples of how to apply and make good use of smart power is the European Union. And we are running through many other examples. So, for example, we have here France, and there is very interesting information that Africa has 30 plus French-speaking countries, which is around more than half of the countries in the continent, as French was introduced in Africa by France and Belgium during the colonial period, and it continued after that. The French language currently plays an important role in Africa, serving more and more as common language or mother tongue. Also, French culture has an enormous global appeal with strong performances across movies, food, sports, and tourism. And of course, it's a home to culture icons like Tour Eiffel and the Louvre. Therefore, it's no surprise that France is one of the most visited destinations in the world. This is how soft power can be useful to the country. Also, another example to measure how important the soft power is, when the devastating fire of the Notre Dame Cathedral drew an outpour of support from both French and global publics, demonstrating the global resonance of French culture, history, and heritage. Going to Asia, we have China, and China's spending support of its soft power already dwarfs those of most other nations. It not only pays attention to the development and modernization of the army, but also actively works on its soft power through the opening of multitude of Confucius institutes around the world in order to interest people to learn their language and culture. Also, economic resources can be an important part of attracting and spreading the influence in a peaceful manner. Therefore, China precedes in its immediate neighborhood as well as other regions such as Africa through various investments, ranging from those related to infrastructure to those related to healthcare sector. Also, we have the cultural exchange programs between China and Africa that can be a representative example of how China has been spreading its soft power. We have also United Kingdom, getting back to Europe. And here I'm quoting this from the BritishCouncil.org. Strong cultural and educational links also enhance the UK's relationships with future world leaders, traditionally an area of France. And according to an article that was published in the BBC in 2014, 1 in 7 current world leaders studied in the UK, with huge potential benefits to the UK's influence. And they are keeping an eye of the risks they might face. So the UK risks losing these advantages as a new generation comes to the fore in many countries. This risk can be mitigated with continued focus on international educational collaboration, a new generation of scholarships, and more digital connections and products. And I'm still quoting the BritishCouncil.org, and I believe that the majority of you can now relate to this. So we have also Russia investing heavily in international news broadcasting. Finland builds its soft power by preserving the reputation of the country with the most innovative educational system. We have the Tibet, and the charismatic Dalai Lama enjoys great support throughout the world. And many other countries are expanding their international culture and educational programs to enhance their influence abroad, as they truly believe in the power of the soft power. Can sports be a soft power? Yes, definitely yes. And I'd like to give, here are 3 examples, but the one I'd like to highlight most is the one when Nelson Mandela took a great advantage of the Rugby's World Championship that was held in South Africa in 1996, and he used this championship to promote unity, reconciliation, and integration in a divided country, and managed to deconstruct the idea that rugby is a white sport. And this is a movie starring Morgan Freeman and Matt Damon. It's called Invictus, and it's highly recommended to watch. I'd like to hear back from you your reviews about the movie. We have other situations or examples when sports acted as soft power between US and China, and other one in the Olympics between USA and the Russians. So the example of Nelson Mandela highlighted the idea that we can use soft power to promote for peace. Another example from my beloved country was this memorial, acknowledging the crucial role that art plays in bridging gaps between people from all walks of life. World Youth Forum and Shosha Kamal Design House join forces, delivering a message of peace to the world. The memorial is a celebration of peace, creativity, and development. And World Youth Forum is one of its 3 main focus areas is peace, creativity, and development. Also, the choice of this place in Sharm el-Sheikh in Sinai is very important because it reflects that Sinai is land of peace and Egypt is the cradle of all civilizations, in which civilizations integrate and they do not clash. So, Reviving Humanity Memorial, let me tell you what was written here in this text. The design aims at uniting the world in a mission to revive our long-forgotten humanity that was missed as a result of wars, terrorism, and misfortune events all over the world. 195 artists representing 195 countries of the world unite on the land of Egypt, the land of peace, to sculpture human hearts, to revive with their art and innovation the humanity that we all long for. Again, here we can use our soft power to send as peaceful messages, to revive our humanity, to deliver all our values in peaceful messages. These two examples, the one from Nelson Mandela and the rugby team and the Reviving Humanity Memorial in Egypt, are an evidence to how we can use soft power for promoting for peace. So some people say that soft power is limited to governments. No, it's not. And the information age has led to the rise of soft power resources for non-state actors, especially with the social media, the greater extent to the internet using tools. Non-state actors have been able to increase their soft power. And this leads us to the point that individuals can take part in enhancing their own country's soft power. If you are an honoree in an international competition, if you had a breakthrough, if you were internationally recognized for a project you are starting, or for your contribution in a specific field, this also helps to enhance your country's contribution. Let us all consider ourselves as ambassadors for our country's soft power. So this is very important. Another important role, that celebrate your own heritage. These are two photos of me wearing traditional costumes in two different occasions, and I'd like to celebrate my heritage. I'd like to tell people that I'm proud to preserve my heritage. Celebrate your in traditional festivals, celebrate your own traditions, your own costumes. Don't neglect them, preserve them, because that's how you can build up and make your country's soft power stronger and even better. This is how your country can help promoting peace. This is how you can take part in enhancing your country's soft power, and then helps to promote for peace and other values. Here are some links for further readings and the sources I have been using for this presentation. Of course, one of them is the Soft Power book by Joseph Nye. And thank you for your time. I hope this presentation was very interesting and helpful. And I'm looking forward to joining you in next webinars and events. And best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Yasmin. It was really a remarkable presentation, and I kindly request you to share the links in the chat box with our participants in order to get benefit from these, unique resources. And I think you will receive a lot of questions from our attendees today. Back again. Thank you. Back again to Miss Barbara. Miss Barbara, can you hear us? Miss Barbara?
Hello, can you hear
Hello,
me?
Miss Barbara. Can you hear us?
Hi.
Hi.
Yes, I can hear
Finally.
you. I was on mute.
Yeah, I know. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I'll repeat my question to you, okay? You know that it's well known that to be able to spread peace around us, we have first to acquire a peaceful mindset. From your experience, how to build a peaceful mindset individually for spreading peace across communities using leadership skills? The floor is yours now.
Thank you so much for the question, and thank you for the introduction earlier on. I will start with a saying. We have a proverb in Southern Africa that I am because of others. So whatever I do as an individual is always impacted by the society that I come from. It can be the family nucleus, but there's always something that has to do with the community, the society that I come from, that makes me who I am. Why I'm sharing this is because sometimes people don't realize the impact of learned behaviors. So it's important to encourage a culture whereby we model, we teach, we encourage the young people to learn how to take care of themselves, not only physically, the appearance, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Because when there's alignment with all these elements in your life, you do not have time to be negative. You are not obsessed with starting conflict with other people. You actually resonate with others who are also maybe from the same background, who are also aligned in all these aspects, and you become peaceful. So whatever message you give to the world, it is peaceful. So it's important to make sure that we are aligned, we learn or we imitate the things that are peaceful. We make sure we take care of ourselves. And also, it's always not just about the choices we make. We do get hurt in life. There are traumas that we may suffer. They may be natural disasters, sometimes induced by men, or our health fails us and we begin to lose our peace. So it's important to make sure that if I feel some emotional trauma or emotional wounding, you go for therapy. It's important. Find peace and seek help to deal with any traumas that you may be going through. It can be abuse, and it can be sometimes being exposed to the opposite of peace, you know, where there's conflict, where there's war, where there's misunderstanding. So we need to encourage people when we find that we are no longer at peace on our own, we seek help. There are so many professionals. And also it's important to understand the need for a peaceful environment. Why I'm saying this is, if I desire to have a peaceful environment, it means all that I do is directed towards ensuring that there is peace within myself and peace around me. You know, we become mediators when we see conflict. We seek maybe knowledge or expertise from people who are practicing this. People who are in authority actually do not resort to corruption because they understand the importance of maintaining a peaceful state. So it's a whole community, as in the entire nations need to be focused, need to be dedicated to being peaceful, to achieving this peace that we are speaking of. And when we encourage people to be open about themselves, to be so when we start resorting to conflict or abusing other people. And the other thing, there is always this difference between how the girl child is raised and how the boy child is raised. The girl child is usually encouraged to express herself, to deal with her emotions. We talk about how we are feeling. We are very vocal in many things as young men. We talk in the end, it means we take care of whatever is burdening us. We offload it off our chest and we become peaceful. But it's the opposite with the boy child. I'll give you another example of a saying in Southern Africa that pertains to the male, to the males. They say the tears of a man and in the chest. You don't even see them outside. You cry from the inside, which means as a man, you are not expected to express yourself. You are not expected to show that you are hurting. You are not expected to talk about how you are feeling. And in the end, it's people who are growing up with all these boxed emotions, all these feelings that they don't know what to do with them. You know, if you keep piling emotions inside, one day everything will just blow up. And that's how we end up with war, with conflict. So it's important to raise our children in a balanced way. Whatever we teach the girl child, as far as emotional wellness is concerned, we need to extend it to the boy child. Because empowered men empower women, and we want to empower everyone. If the boy child does not know how to be emotionally supportive, how will he, even his sisters, you know? So we need to encourage the spirit of raising children who are wholesome, who take ownership, who are not ashamed of their emotions, who are not ashamed to ask for help when they need help, and who are not afraid to say, I am feeling hurt, I am unhappy. We have this game that we do in therapy, like we ask each other when we start anything, like, what color is your heart? So now it helps everyone to come together and talk about what they are feeling, because colors represent certain emotions. Someone will say their heart is gray, then you try to explore, why is your heart gray? So we want to encourage an environment whereby everyone is free to talk about the color of their heart. And what do you want others to do to help you change that color, to make it brighter, maybe blue or green or whatever, or white? What do you want from others? How can we help you? So we have ownership. We encourage ownership of our emotions, because denying them doesn't remove them. But when we own whatever we are feeling, my heart is brown, my heart is black, then we talk about why the heart is like that. How can you be better equipped to deal with the day-to-day situations that cause the heart to be in such a state? And then we help each other now finding ways of brightening the color, turning it around so that it's a happy heart. And you feel comfortable where you are. It's safe, nobody's laughing at you, nobody's treating you badly. So that's one of the things we can do, encourage both the boy child and the girl child to express themselves, to talk about their feelings, to own their feelings. Also, the other thing is, as parents, we shouldn't be afraid to talk about how we are feeling to the children, because they learn, isn't it? Most of the things we do, whether it's conflict or peace, sometimes it's learned, most of the times. So when we grow up, when we raise children in an environment where the adults are okay expressing their feelings and why they are feeling the way they are feeling, and how things can be made better by everyone at home, there becomes unity towards the achievement of peace. There becomes unity towards the achievement of inner peace, inner healing for everyone around. And we understand each other. And if we have that culture that is embracing, that is compassionate, that is empowering, we take it out from the nucleus of the family. Whoever is going out, whether it's to work, that's the culture you are bringing to work. Whether it's at school, the children are empowered to be compassionate towards fellow students, like they are. Was I muted? I just got a message that I should be unmuted. I can't hear you.
Can you hear us now?
Yes.
Go on.
Was I muted?
No.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought now I have to start all over
No,
again.
go on.
Okay. I was saying, when we create a culture of compassion, of open communication, of acceptance in the home, that culture is taken out to the workplace, to the school, to the community. And in the end, we discover now we have introduced a paradigm shift in how we communicate, in how we embrace, and how we allow ourselves to be seen. Instead of being macho and tough or people who are unfeeling, we are able to communicate peacefully, amicably about how we are feeling. If someone offends me, I should be able to say, this is what you have done. I'm not happy with it. It's affecting me in this way. And we talk without fighting, without getting angry. And also, even if you are angry, I always encourage clients that take time to breathe. Just take 5 deep breaths. By the time you get to 5, like, so we inhale, you smell the roses and blow out the candle. 5 times. By the time you get to 5, you are calmer. You are not going to react to the provocation that might have come to you. You will actually respond, because when we respond, we are being rational, we are calm, we are not acting from an emotional, from a hurt or from a wounded point of view. We are now trying to reason with the other person to understand why they are acting the way to hurt others. So when we are compassionate, when we are understanding towards people who are trying to arouse conflict, people who are trying to be, or maybe to be unpeaceful towards us, it changes them, because they realize you are not reciprocating the anger or the spirit in which they are speaking to you. So it's important, whenever you're provoked, just smell the flowers and blow out the candle 5 times. And you realize you are more peaceful, you are zen. When you address an issue, it's from a very, very peaceful place, and you are being rational. You are not being emotional. So we need also to be aware of our emotions, understand that now I'm feeling like this. I cannot talk, I cannot communicate effectively. And it's also important to teach communication. We need to learn to understand the voice projection, the body language, tone of voice, sometimes even the facial expressions. They give us so much information about the other person, and it helps us find a way to respond that is going to pacify them. Because when someone is angry, you can see maybe the nostrils are flat, the voice is high, they are standing or doing something with their body that shows they are angry. But if you answer from a peaceful perspective, and this can be all over, across board, it's not just maybe from peer to peer, even in a boardroom where people may end up punching each other, but we need to understand where they are coming from. You know, there are ways we greet each other. Hi, how are you? There's a tribe in Namibia, the Oshivambo tribe. They will ask you 14 times, how are you? How are you? And in the end, you start talking about all these things, you understand, because someone really wants to hear. They want to understand. They are not just asking because it's expected to just say, hi, how are you? And we move on to something. They really want to connect with you. And if you have something that's troubling you, then they start addressing that. Oh, what happened? How are you handling it? Do you need help? Things like that. So it's important when we greet others before we start talking any conversation or engaging in any conversation, really greet others from a place of wanting to know, a place of help if you're able to help them. So we need to improve our listening, because if you're just going to say, hello, how are you? And we move on. We are here to do this. It means I don't take time to really listen, to hear you. So it's also important to listen. We shouldn't be too quick to have answers, to offer solutions, to offer this or advice. Let us listen and hear others.
Yeah, sure.
It's very other person is saying. Give them time to talk, give them time to express themselves. And also give them time to feel important, that whatever they are saying is being valued. And once we improve on ourselves, we improve the way we communicate, we improve all these things, we are bound to spread that same spirit to other people. So there are so many ways of enhancing personal peace that in turn has a ripple effect, and it touches every other life that we come in contact with. And sometimes even people we don't know, people we didn't know were observing us. They actually get touched, they got impacted in that ripple effect. And we end up with a very peaceful home, peaceful community, peaceful country, peaceful continent, and we are all peaceful. It's all about improving on ourselves. We seek healing, it's important. Heal from any trauma. Seek help to get over any wounding or emotional baggage that you are carrying. Communicate very well with others. Listen before you talk. If you're provoked, take time to breathe, smell the flowers, blow out the candle 5 times. That should be good enough. But if you still feel emotional, take it to 10 times. It's okay, as long as you don't engage in conflict. And also we need to raise children equally. The boy child should not feel discriminated against, while all the attention, while all the emotional empowerment is directed towards the girl child. We need to make sure there is a balance. So before I conclude, I just want to say, also engaging in dialogue like we are doing right now. This is part of building a peaceful world, because we are working on ourselves as individuals. We are working together towards achieving peace. And together we create a even bigger ripple effect towards creation of peace. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you for your great presentation. We really learned a lot. And we will be back to you in answering our attendees' questions as well. Let's move to our third speaker, Mr. Abdel Kamel. Mr. Abdel Kamel, you are a Somali young leader living in Egypt. From your experience, how could the young people promote peace in their countries while being in diaspora, especially countries with sensitive and, a very, very complex situation like Somalia? And please, our attendees, kindly note that Mr. Abdel Kamel is going to present in Arabic, and I will be translate his presentation once he finishes. Mr. Abdel Kamel, the floor is yours, and you have 10 minutes. Mr. Abdul Kamil, are you here? Mr. Abdul Kamil? Mr. Abdul Kamil, can you hear us? Okay, I think Mr. Abdul Kamil is struggling with his connection. So we can move to Mr. Muhammad. Mr. Muhammad Muqbil from Yemen. Mr. Muhammad, my question to you will be around the situation in Yemen and how could the young leaders like you overcome the challenges and obstacles exist in Yemen using peaceful leadership. Please kindly note that Mr. Muhammad will be speaking in Arabic and I'll translate his presentation. Mr. Muhammad, you will have 10 minutes, please. The floor is yours now. Mr. Muhammad, are you here? Okay, I think our last two speakers have issues with their connection. So we can move to the questions and comments. If you, our honorable guests, if you have any question to our speakers, Ms. Yasmin and Ms. Barbara, please write it down in the comment section and please introduce yourself, your country, your name, your country, and the question you wanna ask to one of our speakers. Thank you. I think we have Mr. Abdul Kamil back. Mr. Abdul Kamil, can you hear us? Mr. Abdul Kamil? Mr. Abdul Kamil, I see you in the screen, but you are not replying. So can you hear us? Oh, okay. You can rejoin us. And for our attendees, if you have any question for Ms. Barbara or Ms. Yasmin, you can write down your question and your name, your country. We are waiting for your questions. Hello, Mufor. Welcome. So we are waiting for your question here on Facebook. If you have any questions. Okay, Mr. Dawit, you asked a question. Can you tell us which of our speakers would you like to answer your question, please? Okay, Yasmin, we have here Mr. Dawit asking you a question. Can you tell us the future of this discussion we have today and what it aims to accomplish in the long run?
Hi everyone. First of all, it's as I have mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, soft power has takes a very long time to be built, and its results takes a very long time to be achieved or seen. So our new culture can promote peace of Africans, street art. I believe that street art is part of the culture of the Africans, and which is a part of the soft power. So we can use this to deliver performances that promotes for the values of peace, prosperity, to promote for our culture, to celebrate our uniqueness. That's how we can benefit from this type of arts that reflect our own selves and helps us promoting for peace. I hope that I got your question right, and I
Okay.
answered it.
Yeah. Okay, you answer the second question that have been asked to you.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. The first one was with our friend Dawit from Ethiopia. He was asking about the future of this discussion and how it's gonna be like effective on the long run.
I have answered this culture access the question. How the new culture street art this the question?
No, there was
Okay. There's
there
another
was
one
one.
from
Yeah.
Nigeria. What are the main factors soft
No,
power
not from
that
Nigeria. There was one from Ethiopia,
are
the first one.
Ah, okay. Can you tell us the future of this discussion? What is
Yeah.
aims to accomplish in the long run? Well, my purpose of this talk or presentation was to um, illustrate or elaborate the idea of soft power and how we can use it to enhance the soft power of our own countries or our own nations. We as individuals or whoever is running an NGO, whoever is working in the civil society, we all can participate and be actively promoting for the values like peace and prosperity through the items or the pillars of the soft power. So this is the aim to discuss the idea and maybe to inspire someone to take part to promote for peace through the items or the pillars of soft power.
Okay, thank you. We have another question from Aliu from Nigeria. He is asking about what are the main factors um, of soft power that affect peace making, especially in Africa.
Well, all factors of soft power can be used. It's just how we use it. In Africa, we have a very unique heritage, very unique music, very unique traditions and costumes. These all can be integrated, and we can make something out of it to enhance our soft power, to spread our culture, to preserve it and celebrate it every day in our daily life. I found many young entrepreneurs female entrepreneurs who are celebrating their costumes, their pattern, their colors, and work on it to be in the fashion industry in a modern way, so that it would be easier to be spread. Maybe one can have a project in fashion that its fund goes a percentage of it to promote peace, or to help a poor village, or to raise awareness to regarding females' education or girls' education. We need to brainstorm a lot to have many ideas in which we can apply and can use our resources well.
Okay, any other question for our two speakers so far? If you have any question, please write it down. Okay. Mufor, your question is for Miss Yasmin or Miss Barbara? Mr. Dawit, thank you so much for your, you know, for your passion towards promoting peace, and definitely we will be in contact with you in order to see how can we collaborate together. Mr. Mufor, your question is for Miss Barbara or Miss Yasmin? Okay, Miss Barbara, we have a question for you from Mufor. He is from Cameroon. He is asking, how do we archive leadership amongst vulnerable populations, be it refugees or IDPs, in the humanitarian settings like Somalia, for a sustainable peace? This was the question.
Oh, thank you so much for the question. I think for vulnerable communities, the examples you just gave, they've been traumatized by war. So there is a lot of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. So it's important to, if we can have as many therapists on the ground as possible to help people deal with this PTSD, find closure, move on from the pain. Step is to find healing. You cannot heal others when you are also hurting. So we deal with the post-traumatic stress disorder. There is occupational therapy, psychotherapy, all forms of therapy to help them get past the trauma, the pains that they've endured. And also we help them deal with with forgiveness, because it's very important to forgive. Whenever there's conflict, unless maybe it's natural, it's a natural disaster, someone has triggered the conflict. So we deal with the forgiveness as well. We find healing for PTSD, we deal with the forgiveness, and then we slowly integrate the communities into the bigger community, whether it's the entire country or it's the continent. But now with a mindset shift from being conflict oriented to being peaceful, but it's a process. As we know, PTSD is not an overnight thing. You don't just deal with it once. So it's going to be a process, and we need to be patient about it. But eventually, when we deal with these issues, when we take care of the emotional wellness, we are guaranteed of a peaceful nation, and it will not be triggered to engage in conflict. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Barbara, for your answer. Anybody else have any question for our speakers? Okay, Ms. Barbara, we have another question from Firdaus. How can we further the awareness about mental health in our Afro-Arab community?
I think this comes to the first question that you asked me before I started presenting on individuals. We need to take ownership of our own mental wellness, our own emotional wellness, because usually in our African community, it's kind of frowned upon to work on ourselves. And as we engage in dialogue, encouraging open discussions about such issues, people learn. We need to talk about it openly, whether it's on radio, it's on TV, we write about it. It becomes part of our everyday dialogue. As long as we continue speaking about it, people get to know about it, people get to realize the importance of it and how it's changing communities for those who are engaging in their emotional wellness. Then everyone also starts following suit. But it starts with the individual. You need to want to be in this, in a wholesome, holistic place where you don't engage in conflict, where you seek help for emotional, and we spread it to those around us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anybody else have any question? We are ready to answer all your questions. We are already running out of time, so we are waiting for you. Okay, then I think there is no more questions. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yes. Greetings to all of you from Uganda directly. How
Hello.
about Miss last time?
How are you?
Yes, I'm okay. So hope you can hear me very well, loud and clear.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. So my question goes directly, of course, to all the young leaders around the world. First of all, thank you very much for organizing this webinar. Of course, Guardians of the AfroArab Leadership is something amazing for most of the young people. Utilize this kind of course, opportunities when it comes to webinars that are directly to them. And it's not a question that I'm asking, but rather a concern of what is being done by most of the young people around the world concerning various resources that have been published by various entities, and how are they trying to, utilizing those materials into their locally available resources that are available. Because most of the youth today are actually focusing more on the physical or the money that they have in their pocket to implement a project or a program. But during this time of pandemic, what are some of the new things that they have come up with, which really look at, of course, growing their leadership skills as well as empowering their community? Because it's the community that we live in that shows what actually we are really doing in actual sense. So what is being done that can be adopted? Sorry for joining late, but I feel there is something which can be said on that. I've been following that, of course, via Facebook.
No, it's okay.
Thank
I
you.
think he was asking about how can we promote leadership practicing during this tough situation of the pandemic, while we are, facing a lot of challenges. So I think we have to have an answer from our both speakers. We can start with Ms. Yasmin. Can you answer this question, please?
Well, I believe it's a very good question because I believe every one of us is actually wondering how can this be done during this hard time we are all passing through. How can we promote leadership? I wish I have a statement or an answer that will be clear enough yet. It's I believe that each and every one of us has a responsibility towards this, including governments, social work, civil society, NGOs, and even individuals. To promote leadership, we have to empower leaders in different fields, to empower youth in different fields. And first, this is very important to give them the tools that they need to in order to be a good leader. So it's about education, it's about training, it's about how to be self-educated and have self-awareness about yourself, about your capabilities, about your inputs, what you are special at, what are you good at, in order to make a good use of your skills and then be a good leader. So to promote leadership, we have to empower the youth, and give them the chances in order to be great leaders in the future, through education, culture, and trainings, field studies, and so on.
Okay,
Thank
you,
you.
Miss Yasmin. Miss Barbara, how can you answer this question, please? How to promote leadership practicing during this tough, situation of the pandemic?
Oh. Is this for me now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. The first part, I think the first and most important thing is, given the way things are now, is to make sure whatever you do, you are safe, you're not exposing yourself to any infections or any dangers. Next now, you need to find out, whatever field you are in, is there any way of shifting it so that you are not putting yourself and those you are working with at risk, because it's about safety. And like I said, when I started my presentation, I shared the saying that I am because of others. So we need to now shift our thinking towards helping others also achieve safety, security, and still work. How can we can come up together as young people and see what can we do. Now these days people are like, right now we are talking virtually, but we are sitting together apart. I'm in my room, you are in your room, everyone else is wherever they are. So we come together and see what can we do, what can work, because some people have come up with so many things that they are doing in their own spaces but together. So it's important to remember that sometimes, even if you are alone, you are not entirely alone. You are just alone because you need to be safe. But you can still come together with like-minded people and come up with solutions with sometimes it's, with solutions to problems that we are facing or that we foresee coming as an impact of what we are going through right now. Because when the world eventually opens, the outside is open, we are free to travel, there's going to be a lot of complications, there's going to be challenges. How can we counteract them? So it's about communication, finding ways together instead of feeling all alone and isolated. Come together virtually and find ways, brainstorm, talk about these things, discuss and seek help. You can invite or maybe an expert on a certain field and hear how they can help you, but continue with your work without giving up everything and feeling sad and miserable. just waiting for the world to end. So communication is key.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
I'd like to add something, if possible. If it's possible.
Yeah, sure, Yasmin.
Regarding this time, I believe it's a good chance for each and every one of us to invest in his own self. If he wants to be, if he's and aspiring to be a leader, he has to be well equipped, and this is a time of a great chance to be so. There's MOOCs, massive open online courses, in which you can develop your own skills to be the leader that you look for. Also, if you have an innovative idea you want to share with your community, or that you believe that it will enhance one's life, or make a better change, whether during the pandemic or post the pandemic, please work on it very hard. Look for other connections that may help you. Look for collaborations. Work hard, and this is I'm doing this myself. I'm investing in myself this time, and virtually I'm meeting with other people in my field in order to discuss what can be done, brainstorm together, and what's needed to be learned in order to be equipped for the post-pandemic area, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you, Yasmin, and thank you, Miss Barbara. Well, I think this is the end then. It was a great discussion we had here, and we are so sorry for the technical issues that our two other speakers were experienced. We are so grateful to Miss Yasmin and Miss Barbara. You did a great job, and also our participants. Thank you for contributions. Thank you all, and let's pray to have peace spread all over Africa and the Arab world. Before we leave, I'd like to thank Mr. Leary Masawi, my friend from Zimbabwe, who is the senior designer of our platform, for all his efforts done in designing all our work. Thank you so much, my friend. And let's take a picture now. Feel free to open your cameras if you can. And we will send you the pictures on WhatsApp. Also, you will be expecting us to send you your certificates by today or tomorrow maximum. So can you open your cameras now to have picture? Are you ready?